Hey, Matt back from Loot Signal, and today we're going to talk about one of the greatest games ever released on the SEGA Genesis, and that game is Revenge of Shinobi. Now, this game was a staple of my childhood. I played it all the time. It was the first Shinobi game I ever played, and it was released by SEGA in 1989, the same year I was born. Now, the title of the game says everything you need to know. It's a story of revenge. The plot is simple. There's an evil organization called Neo Z that's returned from the shadows, and they are out for blood. Playing as Joe Musashi, a ninja master, you quickly find out that Neo Z has killed your clan, killed your leader, and if that isn't bad enough, they've also stolen your fiancé. So as any real ninja master would, you set out to travel the world to find your fiancé and avenge your clan and master by destroying Neo Z once and for all. Now, this is my original copy of Revenge of Shinobi. I've had it for as long as I can remember, and the funny thing is I don't even know where this copy came from. As I mentioned, the game was released the year I was born, so all I can remember is we had this game in my house from the moment I ever picked up a controller. And I gotta say, I can't think of a better childhood game to grow up playing than Revenge of Shinobi. Let's talk about why this game is so great. It has a lot going for it, from the level design, to the variety of the enemies you fight, to the epic boss battles. But what I think is most impressive in this game is the level of detail that was put into it. So let's just take a look and analyze the first 30 seconds of the game. You enter stage 1, a bamboo forest in Japan. The colors are popping, the sky's orange with the sun setting, the leaves are blowing, the parallax scrolling is scrolling, and you start out with a one-on-one fight with the samurai. You take him out, and as you move forward, night falls, the skies turn black, and the ninjas start appearing from clouds of smoke. Now this is the very beginning of the game. There's no tutorials, there's no hand-holding. You gotta jump right into stage 1 and perform. If you can think of a game on the SEGA Genesis with a better opening than this, let me know. I'd love to hear it down in the comments below. So with that said, every stage or district in this game is a blessing to your eyes with some absolutely beautiful environments and level designs. I'm talking giant waterfalls, building rooftops, flying cargo planes, moving trains, seaports, and much, much more. Every level is masterfully designed, there's a huge amount of variety, and the entire game is literally a work of art from beginning to end. Now, what's amazing about this game as well is that it was released only a few months after the SEGA Genesis console release. So SEGA really set the bar high with this one, and if I'm going to be completely honest, a lot of games that were released after Revenge of Shinobi fell short and weren't able to deliver the quality that this game did. Let's talk about the gameplay itself. You have a few basic mechanics: a double jump, kick, sword slash, and your trusty shurikens. Now you can throw shurikens one at a time, but you can jump up and launch a barrage of them at once. The controls all feel really tight and really good, and that's one of the reasons that this game really delivers. Now I do need to talk a little bit about the double jump mechanic in this game, because as a kid, this is something I really struggled with. Now the double jump in this game isn't like other games you've played where you just gotta press jump twice. The second jump of this double jump needs to be timed perfectly. If you don't do it right, you're not gonna get your second jump off when you need it, and you're most likely gonna fall off a cliff or down a bottomless pit. So that's something you gotta keep in mind, but once you master the double jump, it becomes simple and just part of the mechanics of the game. Overall, the game itself is very fair. Throughout the stages, you're given a variety of different power-ups and health to help you, and the only one gripe I really have is the knockback mechanic that so many games seem to have from the 80s and 90s. It can be very painful on stages where you can fall to your death, so beware, as this is likely going to happen to you. Now, this wouldn't be a ninja game if you weren't constantly dealing with traps and danger, and let me tell you, this game has a lot of traps. From bamboo spikes, boxes with bombs in them, bottomless pits, flames, and even frickin' laser beams. But hey, it's a ninja game, so what do you expect? Now let's talk about another core mechanic in the game, and that is the ninjutsu powers. As a kid, I thought this was one of the coolest parts of the game. Each one of these powers has its own unique animations and gives you a different skill, but rather than me trying to go through and describe them off the top of my head, why don't we take a look through the manual and we can see what each one of these powers do. Alright, let's flip through here and see what we can find about the different ninjutsu skills in the game. So the manual starts off with a little bit of the background story. You have your different controls, different options, a little bit about the HUD in the game. And here are the crates. So this is a good page to look at. Some of the different items you can get in the game. You got the power pack, shurikens, different size hearts, extra lives, ninjutsu, and the bomb that we know too well. Little explanation on jumping. Probably should have read this when I was a kid. That would have helped me out. Alright, and now we get to the ninjutsu. So there's 4 different types of ninjutsus. The first is Ikazuchi, the Art of Thunder. Now this is my personal favorite in the game. This basically surrounds you with some lightning and basically acts as a shield, so you get protected from a few hits. Next you have Karyu, the Art of the Fire Dragon. This one's also pretty cool. Basically unleashes a bunch of fire columns, killing everything on screen or doing a lot of damage. Next you have Fushin, the Art of Floating. This one increases your jumping. Never really used this one too much in the game, to be honest, although it does look pretty awesome. And the last is Minjin, the Art of Pulverizing. And this one is basically a kamikaze. I used this one all the time when I was young. I don't know why, but it's strong, but it also kills you and takes a life. So this one basically just blows you up and damages everything on screen. So that's it for the 4 ninjutsu. And we can take a quick look and see what else is in here in the manual. See, this is pretty cool actually. You get a breakdown of all the different districts in the game. So it actually tells you the name of each stage, what it is. So you're starting in Japan, going through Tokyo, into the military base, all the way to Detroit, to area code 818, then into Chinatown, one of my favorite stages, into New York, and finishing up at the Neo-Zed Marine Stronghold. So that's the manual, not much else to it. Always nice to see an old school manual. It's a real shame we don't get these anymore, but that's a video for another time. Another area where the game really shines is the bosses. At the end of each district, there's a boss fight, and the thing that I like about these bosses is they're not so hard that you can't master them and beat them, but they're not so easy that they're boring and just a cakewalk. So they really had the difficulty perfect here. On top of that, most of the bosses are really cool and very memorable, with my favorites being the first boss battle against the samurai, and also the boss battle in the disco or the club. Now, there was some controversy with the original release of Shinobi around the bosses, so Sega initially decided to put in Batman, Spider-Man, and Godzilla as bosses in this game. And I gotta say, that is really awesome. But unfortunately, Marvel and DC did not like that, so eventually Sega had to take them out, and the game was re-released with different bosses that resemble these characters. I do really like though how Sega decided to have fun with these boss fights. They're all very interesting, they're all very memorable, and you even have some bosses that resemble the Hulk and Terminator. So we've talked about the levels and the gameplay, and there's a few other things I want to highlight that really take this game from good to great. And the first one is the music by Yuzo Koshiro. The soundtrack in this game is one of the best soundtracks of any SEGA Genesis game, and maybe even any 16-bit era game of all time. It's absolutely amazing. If you haven't heard it, you need to go listen to it, or better yet, you need to go play this game. The second thing I want to mention is that this game does have a lot of hidden items. So as you're going through the stages, these hidden items are invisible, but when you hit one, they appear. So what usually happens is you're playing the game, you miss a shuriken throw, and you accidentally hit one of these hidden items. And it's a really cool feature of the game, so if you're having trouble, you can always look up where some of these hidden items are, or just throw some shurikens around, and you might just get lucky. Now the last thing I want to mention about this game is that there is two different endings. Now I'm not going to spoil those endings, I'm not even going to show you the final boss fight, but that's something I want you to discover on your own. If you haven't played this game, keep that in mind, and it's something that's very unique for a game that's 30 years old and released on the SEGA Genesis. So that's it. Thanks for joining me as we remember this great game, Revenge of Shinobi. Again, this game was an absolute classic. I love this game, played it so many times, and it was a real pleasure to play through again for this video. I captured all the gameplay footage. If you haven't played it, highly recommend you give it a try. And I also want to highlight that there are other Shinobi games on the SEGA Genesis. And let me tell you, they are all good. So maybe in another video I'll touch on these, Shinobi 3 and Shadow Dancer. Let me know if you've played them. And if you like this video, please like, please subscribe, and drop a comment below. Let me know if you've played this game. Let me know some of your memories, and let me know what you liked or didn't like about it. That's it. Have a good day.